12 years in the National Football League. Offensive lineman, Super Bowl champion coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Alan Quay Shipley with In the Trenches.
Hey,
Q, you're going to be breaking down some plays from this weekend from an offensive lineman perspective on what we should appreciate, what we need to look for more, and ultimately what teams are good. AJ Hawk can hear you, and I believe AJ will be able to answer any question that you have. I can't wait for this. Hasselbeck was yesterday. He was fantastic. Can't wait to watch you work. You look good all dressed up. Look at this little...
Can we see the shoes? Can we get the shoes in?
He's got all white Air Force Ones. He's been rolling around with Jay Glazer in the basement of a man's house in Phoenix, Arizona.
Wow.
You look better than you've ever looked, AQ. We appreciate you. Let's get into trenches, pal.
Hell yeah.
Hey, let's go. I looked forward to this for a long time. First thing I want to shout out is my name is in size 2 font, which is perfect.
Okay.
With offensive linemen living in an anonymous nature, we don't want to be noticed, right? You literally play the game not to get noticed, because when you're noticed, you're doing something fucking wrong. So let's talk about the offensive line. Let's
notice some good.
Let's talk about the good. This is one of my favorite teams. Anybody that knows me, I used to FaceTime you often trying to showcase this offensive scheme. Chris Furster, offensive line coach of the San Francisco 49ers, does a phenomenal job getting their run game together every week. We got Brandon Ayuk with a tight split here. What is the defense thinking? They're thinking we might get a crack toss. This is unbelievable. Foxy, let this thing roll.
Why are they thinking it might be a crack toss?
Because the tight end's the receiver's in a tight split. So look what it does to the defensive end. He thinks he's getting it, so he plays out to the receiver, falls down, makes Juice's job. Let's go to the back shot.
Hey, that's scheme. They know that guy's going to do that.
They know that. They think that he is going to play out for the crack toss, and as soon as he does that, Juice doesn't even have to block him. He's already on the fucking ground. Boom, it's over.
Boom.
Let's rewind this a little bit, Foxy.
Boom.
Check
on
this
your
out.
face.
Now,
boom.
This is where they do a great job. They know scheme-wise, once we get this fake right here and he can climb up on here, we get the fullback kicking him out. He doesn't even have to fucking block him, but we get double teams here.
What?
700 pounds of two of the baddest motherfuckers in football.
Who?
Taking him, Trent Williams, Aaron Banks, up to the linebacker. Great scheme. We get another double team. Take it back a little bit more. We get another double team between center and guard, working up. And then we get a double team on the backside, tackle and tight end, up. We get 3 double teams of 650 pounds plus. My 2-year-old could run through that fucking hole. He's one-on-one with the safety. Beautiful scheme.
Hey, your 2-year-old is a great athlete. Is this what people talk about whenever they talk about Shanahan's offensive scheme as being so much better than everybody else's? It's because of this type of shit.
He does such a good job of scheming it up, formationally, jet motions, making people think something's going to look over here to go there. It's unbelievable.
AQ.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, you see number 11 right there. Aren't they telling him to look inside like, hey, give it away like
look
you're
at him.
going to crack this dude?
Exactly. He's staring at him. Now he sees that, oh, look, I'm coming for the block. He takes one little jab step. Boom, it's over. He's on the ground thinking that's coming.
But they know that's going to happen. They've set this up in the past with a similar play, and then they know this.
So they probably run a tight split in the past with the receiver and ran the crack toss. Now you get him sealing down. You're pulling Trent Williams around. You're reaching there. And now you get 2 guys around the edge.
Is there more San Francisco 49er tape, or is this it for the day?
This is it for the day. We'll get back to it, but we'll showcase something like that down the road where we hit on this right now, and then we'll get to the toss later.
Well, because the interesting thing here is, as quarterback, with this type of shit happening in front of you, in front of the for the run game, all you need to do is make the easy passes, right?
That's it. And they do such a good job where their pass game marries up with the run game. Formationally, there could be 17 different things coming out of this exact formation.
And that's why Shanahan's such a good coach.
So good.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one, shall we?
Go to the next one. My old team.
Are you giving away insider secrets here?
Oh, here we go.
Hey, AJ, this guy was a coach down there, so don't forget.
I won't give any of the terminology. I won't give any of the
Super Bowl champion coach.
Packers, listen up. I mean, they got him on Sunday.
Yeah, listen, this guy might give away everything you need to know right here.
One thing I will say, and this is important to point out, every team runs the exact same run plays. They call it different names. They use different terminology. I'm not giving away any secrets here. This is a weak side counter. I love this right here. So the center's taught to leave 2, right? So end man on the line of scrimmage plus 1 guy off the ball. You're going to get a counter. You're going to get a guard pulling down the line. Front side's going to work back.
Hold on, break down what you just said there.
Okay.
Let's go back to the beginning. Leave 2. And
leave 2. Meaning you leave 1 guy who's the end man on the line of scrimmage,
okay,
and then the first stack linebacker off the ball. That's the 2 that you're going to leave for your pullers. This is a weak side counter, so you're going to get a guard flat pulling down the line, kicking out this guy,
okay,
and then you're going to get a tight end, or in this case, a fullback, coming around and wrapping and blocking this guy, and everybody else is going to be working back. You got a great angle on the double team on the front side, here to here. The center's blocking back. Tackle's going to step down and hinge. He's going to step down and hinge on the backside, seal off everything from the backside. But they do such a good job. It's also important to note, Donovan Smith, who started 100 and something games at left tackle in a row, out this game. Backup swing, Josh Wells, been in the NFL for 8-9 years as a backup, is doing the exact same fucking thing that Donovan Smith would do. You are expected as a backup to perform in the same thing. They get a great deuce block. Check it out from behind. We get a great deuce double team right here. David Onyemata is a fucking dog. We get a double team. He goes there. Boom. Now watch him put the brakes on. Climb on Demario Davis, one of the best in the league. You get the kick out there and the wrapper right there. Again, my 2-year-old could run through that hole.
So we're talking about, a little bit of conversation should be had about, these massive gaping holes that some of these running backs are running through.
Unbelievable.
Because nobody talks about the big fat boys up front making a lot of
Everybody talks about great run by Leonard Fournette.
Which it was, by the way. Great run.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Way to hit that thing hard.
Truck
That's
stick.
Right.
How did it get there? This unbelievable job by the Tampa Bay offensive line. Now, here's the best part. LSU on LSU. One-on-one with the safety. Let this thing run. Lenny lowers the shoulder.
Oh, Tyrann Matthew gets the tackle.
And he is getting up talking, you know it.
But Lenny set the tone there, trying to run his ass over. AJ, what are you taught to do there whenever you're the guy that's getting left off? If you're not getting blocked by anybody on the front side, you're just assuming that a crackback's coming or a puller's coming for you?
I mean, maybe, but AQ, if you put that back up from the end zone, were they stunting into that? Was that?
Yeah,
that
so we got a slant. We got a slant
gap?
right here, right? And then you get him
So
over the
that's
top.
why DeMario was running. Yeah, DeMario's over top, so that creates that big gap because the stunt guy gets does he get either pushed down or stuck? Which side does he get stuck on?
On the outside, whenever he goes over. 72 does a fantastic job. Josh Wells puts the brakes on once he sees the slant. Now he transitions vertically. A lot of people would try and kill him, and they'd be out of play, and then DeMario's making the play over the top. He does a great job putting the brakes on, getting vertical, and now kicking him out inside out, taking the defender where he wants to go.
That's how it works, though. Watch AQ. You obviously know, but DeMario right there in the middle. Can you point to the middle backer right there? Watch at the snap. He's moving lateral because he knows that stunt. Bam! He has to get over top because that D lineman's taking the A gap for him.
So good play by
here we go.
DeMario, you're saying?
He might need to slow down there because a huge gap opened up in
ends
front
up
of him.
taking
That's
that
tough.
out.
It's tough on him. He's expecting that to be shut down and has to bounce.
100%.
How come this doesn't work every single time? What could potentially get in the way?
Well, listen, I mean, at the end of the day, if this defensive end does a good job, now he comes down the line of scrimmage and blows up the guard. That could blow this thing up. If this guy does a phenomenal job, drop knee pressure, getting through the double team, that could blow up the play. There's a million different things. This guy could blow up the second puller, the wrapper, who's, in this case, 41 coming. You'll see I got a couple different clips of this from different angles and different formations, so you'll see this play a couple times.
So every run can go, and every run can go for negative.
100%, but it all comes down to execution on every play. And the fucking beautiful thing, as long as they communicate and we get 11 guys on the same page, we got a chance. 10 out of 11?
Not good.
Got a chance to fuck it up.
If we're all wrong.
Yeah,
All right.
All right.
Hell yeah.
All right, what's the next one, AQ? Go ahead
Yeah,
and
let's
break
go to
it
the next
down.
one.
Oh, we like the Chiefs. They throw the ball all over the yard.
They do. Sling it.
They're a big-time throwing team.
But they also run the ball well. And Andy Reid does
Oh.
a fantastic job formationally doing different things. This is the exact same play that you just saw the Buccaneers run. But check it out. We get a bunch formation, so now you don't have a fullback in the background or in the backfield. You get the running back on the same side of which the play is going to be run. It's going to be an open-end counter. Same thing. We're leaving two. That's the first puller. That's the
first
second
person
puller.
off the field.
Correct.
Off the line, I'm sorry.
Correct, for the second puller. The second puller in this case, out of the bunch formation, is going to be Kelsey wrapping around. The beautiful thing that I like about this, Fox, you go to the back. Perfect. Typically, you run this with the running back over here. So why do they do this? Could be setting up something for a pass down the thing for protection. You could put him on this side and still get the same thing. But they do different things by lining him up over there. It also does a fantastic job of slowing this thing down and letting him get in relation to let his pullers get out of the way and see the hole. Check it out, same thing. We get the double team down to the second stack. He's down the line, kick out here. Kelsey around for the second puller. Beautiful hole.
Wow.
We get the same thing.
Running back has to
That's
hit
a hell
that.
of a play by Drew Tranquil right there, though. Honestly,
The
Yeah.
linebacker 54?
watch the back. The other backer who's in on the tackle. Yeah, it's a 5-6 yard game, but he took on the puller. He took on Kelsey and another blocker too, and then still getting in on the tackle.
And came up underneath. Yeah, great job by him. But again, AJ, as you guys talk about it on defense and we talk about it on offense, 4
Point
yards.
Tranquil out for him.
4 yards is a win.
Right there, to the
there.
right.
Yep. So when Kelsey
Yeah, it's
comes
an
around,
absolute win for offense. Yeah.
it's a win. If you get 4 yards, it's a win. And you get a beautiful hole here, and you just keep hammering this, and the 4 yards ends up being, I think he had a 65-yard gain later in the game. Later in the game. So
close it out.
On this one, you're right, AJ. He does a fantastic job of taking on Kelsey, getting back underneath, and making the play. But still, it's a win for the offense.
If he doesn't do that, they may go for
now
for
he's
a good
one-on-one
chunk.
with Derwin down the road.
And Derwin will make a play because he's a stud, but it's another 7 yards down the field. We got at least a first down. At least we're in a better position. The run game is a sophisticated operation, you're saying.
Sophisticated operation. It is communication is key. That's what every offensive line coach is going to preach. 5 guys on the same page. You'll see later in the show when we talk about pass. Now the quarterback and the running back are involved. It's 7 guys on the same page. That is huge. But up front, if these 5 guys, including the tight end, 6 and 7, whoever it is, if they're not on the same page, this play is going for no yards or negative yards. Let's go to the next one, Foxy. Okay, I love this play. Again, we're kind of going down the line. I've showed you 2 different plays, exactly the same play, but 2 different styles, with Kelsey being the puller from a bunch formation, another one from a fullback. Go to the back view on this one. So check this out. This is the exact same play, except now we're running it to the tight end. We call this lead, right? Teams are going more and more to this situation where they do not want this tight end on that defensive end. That is an absolute nightmare matchup.
Hold on, the internet's been talking about this a lot, remember? Everybody's like, how many more times I got to say it? Let's stop blocking defensive ends with tight ends. It's become an internet movement almost. Yeah. Why does that happen, you think? It's just lazy or what?
No, I think back in the day, that was the way that the plays were designed, and defensive ends weren't fucking freakazoids like they are now. And so they do such a good job. So now here's what we're doing, and you're seeing it more and more and more every time you turn on the film. Now we get a tight end on someone more his size. You get him down on Levante David. You get him down on the first stack. We get the same exact play. It's still a counter. We're still going to pull the guard. We're still going to get a second puller, which is going to be this guy. Saints do a great job again formation as well. Eye candy. Get the jet motion. Get people moving. See, we got people moving, him moving. Check it out. We get the double team back. We get him on the first stack. We get the kick out. Now 45 is a free hitter on the guy over the top, or he can climb, but he's just looking for first person. Look at that hole, boys.
Wow.
Look at that hole. He's one-on-one with the safety. Great play by Winfield down 10 yards down the field, 11 yards down the field, but an unbelievable design.
We love big holes and we cannot lie.
What are we noticing so far?
When they move those guys.
Huge holes, right?
Absolutely.
Massive.
These motherfuckers are doing their job when you get that happening.
Vita Vea.
He's not going to be
Yeah,
happy.
exactly. Let's also talk about that. We got one of the best, if not the best, front 7 in football. You got Vita Vea, you got Hicks, you got Will Golston, Shaq Barrett, Joe Tryon Shoyinka, Levante David, Devin White, dogs on the second level. And he didn't get touched until 12 yards.
So that's all scheme, you're saying, and execution.
All scheme and execution. Phenomenal job. Let's go to the next one.
That
Foxy.
sounds like you draw it up on paper and it ends up working out perfect, right?
And that's exactly what you want to see. You want to see what you draw on paper show up on the field. It doesn't always work out that way because everything's drawn up with static people, not moving, right? But on the snap, as you saw in the one clip, on Yamada slants, now we got to be able to adjust, transition, climb, do all the things that you want to do as an offensive lineman.
Oh, but we love big holes.
We love big
Hey,
holes.
we love big holes.
Hell
yeah, big old holes.
All right, so this is beautiful. Leave this
AJ, plug the big hole, AJ.
You won't.
That's right, man. You get these too many gaping holes out here, AQ.
Oh, we got big gaping holes out
on.
here, huh?
Let's get that defense going.
Lizard sleeve.
So this is one of my favorite plays on the segment this week. We always talk about the offensive lineman. Again, I've hit on all gap schemes so far. Another gap scheme. AJ, I want you to chime in here in a sec. But what makes the big plays, what makes the home run plays, the touchdowns, watch Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
One of the best receivers in football, getting grimy, getting inside, getting the dirty job done right here that causes the touchdown. Let's watch this from the wide view. Perfect. Let it go. Boom. Cooper Kupp, touchdown.
Wow. That's how you break free, right?
That's how you break free, by having receivers do the dirty work, the work that nobody wants to do as a receiver, but they get it done. AJ, I want you to chime in on this. They're running your standard duo play. You've gone against this 100 million times.
What's standard duo?
Duo is going to be 2 double teams. They call it power without the puller, essentially, right? So you're going to get a double team here to the front side stack. You're going to get a double team here to the backside stack, and it's the old downhill play right here in the A gap, and we're just trying to get something done. But watch the difference in scheme. They send the fullback weak. Look what it does to the backers.
He has to honor that.
Has to honor it. And so what does that do for everybody else up front? Now it creates angles on the double team when they climb to the linebacker. It's an unbelievable job. They send the fullback weak. They have to honor because he's keying this fullback. As soon as he goes there, look what it does. Boom, boom. Now the double team, as he's climbing, right now he's in bad position because he has to get inside out because the play is designed to go over here. You see that?
Yes.
So now let it run a little bit. Boom. Now he just got inside out. He just set up the block by sending the fullback weak. That's all he had to do. And then we get the double team we got here. We get the double team here to here. And now let it play. Cooper Kupp.
Cleans
Bam.
up.
There it is.
We love big
That's how you
holes.
draw it up.
Pretty
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's how you draw it up. And I assume that just like in kickoff return games, you'll see guys run, start left, and then they're cutting back right. That's to get all the tacklers and get their blockers set up. Sean McVay thought to himself, if I get the fullback to go left, we'll be able to naturally set up all the blocks, and this should work out perfectly. Do you see this often, or is this the first time?
So every once in a while you see this. Some teams do it a lot of times. Again, they know that this guy's keying off this fullback, so they might run a power scheme where they'll pull the guard and get everybody working back. Same thing. They send the fullback weak. Now he has to go here. This deuce block can go forever, and it's got an unbelievable angle. They can just hang on this guy and hang on this guy until he finally recognizes the ball's over the top, and then boom, we get the seal right there.
AJ, is there any thought like, hey, I know they have a fullback in there, but it's a slot wide receiver. Like this might be a dummy call. It's not follow him and read the keys, or do you have to do that on every play no matter what?
I mean, absolutely, you would be aware of that it's not their normal fullback or it's a smaller fullback, but you might be able to take a half a step back and try to fall back on that. But that lineman already got you kind of in bad positions. Yeah, it puts you in a tough spot because then they can also play action pass off of it. There's everything off of that as well. What if they leak that dude out to the flat too? Think about that, Connor. The 18 could come through like he's going to kill you and say, shoot
Play
to the flat, and he
action.
might be yours.
Sean McVay's got that big brain. That's why everybody was getting hired who had a cup of coffee with him. It seems like this is not also an indication of that, yeah?
Unbelievable. I mean, they do a great job in the run game scheme, and Kevin O'Connell's done. He's already talked about it. You heard it last night. He has taken a ton from what he's learned, and it's evolved ever so much.
Well, Kevin, I don't know.
Well, last night, yeah, I get it. But
It didn't work. This didn't happen last night for the Vikings.
No, not at all.
They don't give it to Dalvin Cook at all either. And granted, they were down right away, but they do not run the ball anymore.
Yeah, and Justin Jefferson, I think he would block, but I don't think he's coming down crack like that.
Not
Not
like
in this
Kupp.
Kevin O'Connell scheme.
AQ, when it comes to this kind of stuff, you talk about the communication and everything. How much does that differ for like a quarterback like Brady, or when you show Mahomes? Like, are those guys the ones that are kind of setting up the protection, especially like with Kansas City when Creed Humphreys he's incredible, but it's only his second year. Like, how much of that is the O-line communicating and setting the protection, and how much of that is the quarterback?
yeah, so I mean, a lot of times there's guys like Brady, Breeze, those guys. They love to control everything. Not sure the dynamic with Mahomes, but I do know that these guys all have the ability to override everything. So center could see something and they see something completely different. Nope, let's flip it. New Mike, we do different things.
Quarterback always has his last say.
They got the last word, always. And they're the ones that need to know everything. And
So
they're
what's
the ones
Jeff
that wanna-
Saturday all mad about with Peyton Manning on the sideline? Just block, Jeff.
That's a good. Wait, we need to run the ball.
Just block, Jeff. When they're spitting on each other. Quarterback always has final say, but I assume there is a situation where you and the quarterback see something differently. Does that take place in every single game, every single situation? And how much is the center actually talking in the NFL?
Yeah, the center's talking a lot. And even so, right, like once the quarterback, even if he does override it, there still has to be a ton more communication because now the center, what he just changed, has to get communicated all the different calls to all the different guys. You move a mic point one way or the other, you do whatever. Now there's a whole new call. You could have started with a single, now it goes to a scoop, or whatever these calls may be on whatever team, but it could be an ace to a deuce to an eight, whatever it is.
Oh,
right?
really? You guys are making those changes on the field?
He makes a change and you got snap, snap, boom, ball snap.
So, like, you go from pass play to run play.
Yep.
You are potentially changing from a double team to a single.
Or same thing, you could have a run game. You could have all run calls now, and now we go to a play action pass, and now the calls are completely different. Okay, now new mic here. We're going to go here. We got different calls. Boom.
How hard is that on the road, AQ? What if you can't hear on the road? You're playing like in a loud place.
Get a lot of signals, right? You do a lot of signals.
You're already in your stance too. That's
You're in your
tough on you
stance.
guys.
You're like sitting here making these types of calls or whatever it may be for your calls, and you're sitting there going like this to fan out or whatever it may be, right? But it's a lot of signals. Crowd noise is
A
the worst
real
thing.
weapon.
It's a real weapon.
Fans need to know that, though. Like, when you go to games and people are like, hey, make some noise. That ain't like you were helping the team win. Like, you are affecting everything, it sounds like.
You see it all the time. Everybody, I think, thinks that the center's looking between his legs to see where the quarterback is on road games. That's the cadence. That's the cadence that the center's doing. He's literally doing a head bob, and it could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3, it could be silent.
That's for the wide receivers.
That's for everybody to know when the ball's being snapped.
I think there's a lot we're going to learn from these.
absolutely.
Do we got time for one more?
Yeah, absolutely. Last
Foxy,
one.
let's go. I think we got one more here. Okay, perfect. Carolina Panthers have been abysmal.
9 straight losses.
Very bad.
Yeah,
Bad,
9
right?
straight
Yeah,
losses.
going to fire their head coach.
Well,
Probably he's going to end up in Nebraska.
Yeah.
the good thing is for all you fans in Charlotte, I got a great play for you guys. Same thing here. You don't see it before the motion. We had this guy here. Again, little detail, but he started out here. He has to block this guy. So on his own, he knows he has to get here. He has a bad angle out here. He short motions himself to get in position to block this. Let's go to the back view, please. This is your duo play that we just talked about on the last one. Again, completely different formation. No fullback, no misdirection, no nothing. Everything's going to be strong side here. We basically have 3 for 3 over here. We get a double team to there. You could get a double team to here. A lot of teams have done this because these guys have gotten so good at playing the double team, they clog up the hole quick. So now we get him one-on-one, we get him, send him through, and now this guy kind of plays this way and takes himself out of the play. He's one-on-one here. Christian McCaffrey's going to do a great job getting this thing and just fucking hitting this thing 100 miles an hour. Watch this thing. We got a great deuce here. Boom, off there. One-on-one, one-on-one. He didn't know where to fit. Let's rewind that one more time. This is the beautiful thing. This guy's the unblocked guy. We always tell this guy, you got to win. You're one-on-one with somebody that's going to be unblocked. In this case, it's 37.
And the offensive line actually says that the running back's like, yeah,
They
hey,
know that.
fucking need you. Punter
We
doesn't
need
say that. Punter says, man, that was tough. Thought you had it. Offensive line go, hey, we fucking need you to beat one person.
Got to
here."
beat one person. We'll take care of the rest. We need you to beat one. But check out this. On gap schemes in particular, he has no idea where to fit. Once he makes this little stutter, it pauses him and freezes him right here, sets him up right here, right there. He thinks it's now going to hit here on this little stutter, and then boom, he hits it downhill 100 miles an hour. There
See
it
ya.
is.
Ooh. Lost 37, and he's Christian McCaffrey. He's going to make the most of it.
Biggest play of the segment. Unbelievable run by Christian McCaffrey. In order for the Carolina Panthers to win moving forward, they got to get this run game and him fucking rolling. And this is a great way to end this segment.
Hell yeah, it is. Great transition there. Speaking of get things rolling, I don't know if you deserve this belt buckle or Let's Ride yet, but I'm excited to see the next one. Thank you for that information.
Thank you.